What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this has been really requested by a lot of people, and I thought it'd be fitting to do the Europe teams because I just did a video on why they have failed at Worlds this year. So reacting to Talibobo, the #1 EU team, losing in their groups, I thought would be fitting. So both of these teams beat the #2 seed iClan from OCE, and so whoever wins this game gets out of groups. So this would have determined whether Talibobo makes top 8 or not. And this was a very intense series. So you can see how the draft played out. First pick Lapras, I support it. Brazil went Slowbro A9. They have huge prio on A9, which is a lower than Ninetales. Hoopa Umbreon by Tali, pretty standard actually. Tali's draft actually really looks like an Asia meta draft, which is interesting. So so far Brazil does pick up the Leafeon and they go Blissey. Talibobo goes Zacian, Mew, and Brazil brings out their secret weapon, which is Gudra. So for some context, we scrimmed Brazil a lot. They were like our scrim partners. Probably one of the teams we scrimmed the most leading up to Worlds. So we knew how strong this Gudra was. I have lost to Gudra too many times. That's why I really respect Gudra now. Obviously, Falb, if you saw my Worlds players tier list, I rated very highly. So he's probably the best Gudra in the world because no one else really grinded Gudra except for him. And he's very good at it. However, in these drafts, I'd say that Inteleon Mirrorband, definitely interesting, very funny. But I'd say that Talibobo won the draft. I really like Talibobo's draft. They've got everything. They have good early game. They have good late game. I'd say the only dangerous thing is that Brazil has Slowbro. But I think Talibobo's draft is tanky. Mew is ranged, so it's going to be hard for the Slowbro to get on Mew. The only person who can really be Slowbro United is the Zacian. So you do have to be careful of that. But I think they can play around the Slowbro fairly well. So I think Talibobo has a much better draft here for the early game. We are watching from Chris's channel because let me turn it down a little bit. We are watching from Chris Hero's channel. I'm sure a lot of you know Chris because the regular broadcast is glitched. So you can't actually view it from desktop. You can still see it if you're on like phone, mobile, but you can't actually see this game, which is sad because this is probably one of the most hyped games at Worlds. So it's really sad that the broadcast turned out this way. But anyways, Zacian jungle starting out, pretty standard. The Leafeon is going to be split buffing with the Alola Ninetales on Brazil's side. That's also pretty standard stuff for the comp they ran. This split buff Ninetale is definitely very annoying. It's impossible for it to lose lane. So it definitely doesn't like hard win lane though, so it's definitely playable. Ooh, Klaus messed up his clear a little bit there, so interesting start. I've noticed like watching the Europe teams, they're just really nervous, it seems. Like I think Gatlu and Giz and now Klaus, they messed up their clears. So it's really interesting that they seemed so nervous on the stage, really. It's something that you didn't really see them do at all in online tournaments. So it might seem like a small thing, but I just think it indicates their nerves that like they're messing up these things that they normally would never mess up, right? So I mean, kind of a mirror bot. I guess both teams are like afraid to make any plays. Zacian's just building up his points right now, which is smart. I think it's on Brazil to make a play really at this point in the game. So really interesting by them that they're not really doing that. Looks like the Gudra is even in the top lane, but the Lapras is getting a lot of stacks in, which is pretty bad. And that is a huge kill for the Leafeon, so it's really good for them. Are they giving up Bibbies? No, it looks like the A9 rotated over. So Talibobo is ambushing bot. No, the Mew's going to B's late. I really don't like this macro by Talibobo. They look really confused. This is what I mean about communications. Like If you watch my EU video, one of the thing, like my last point was that um, they kind of had a very big lack of communication from other factors, and it's like the Zacian could have gone mid, but he went bot, and then the Muse going to mid like late, like these Alterios even without vision should be very obvious they're gonna be gone. So really interesting. Like I think they should have crashed bot with the Zacian here. Not sure what's going on there communications wise. Like the Muse should have just stayed bot with 3, right? There's no point in the Zacian going bot if the Muse not going to stay there. They try to push on this solo slow bro. Obviously they didn't know the A9 was mid, but still very weird. And Brazil is just constantly killing this top side. However, the Zacian does come up now, which might be a huge kill. Looks like Klaus can't quite finish it off. He's looking. He's kind of low on points though, which is a must for Zacian. So it's gonna be hard for Klaus here. He needs to build up his points still. Honestly, if he had more points, probably could have killed one of them. He's gonna go triple clear. Potentially hit level 9. He was like 7 3/4, so I think he could hit level 9. The Ninetales is level 8, and so is the Leafeon. So these guys are huge in the bottom lane. Lanes went really well for Brazil, but keep in mind Brazil's playing Leafeon, so Leafeon's kind of made for that early game. And they're like, so bot lane and bot, like early game should just be free with their comp. Really, they do have a better early game here than Tali. Zacian Unite was charged way too early there, so the Blissey actually steals it. That's insane. Slightly messed up eject button, so that was a really good steal by the Blissey, going up a tier on the player tier list. Holy shit, he was 1 HP, cancels the Hoopa portal, gets his focus band. That's huge, but he's still in trouble here. Dodges the Mew Solar Beam. Brazil is honestly playing out of their minds right now, besides that one Leafy on eject. But I think that just shows, like, honestly, I don't think Talibobo is in trouble here. Like, they're fine, and basically everything's going wrong that could have. So I think that just shows the draft gap here. Like, I really think Tali has a much better draft. They drafted kind of like Asia in this game. This is one of the few games at Worlds that I actually like one of the Europe team's drafts. I think it's pretty good into right side comp. Chris is surprised by the Muddy Water, but I think Muddy Water is a must here. I really think on carry Gudra, like Muddy Water Acid Spray is a must. I'm working on my build guide for 15,000 subscribers. To thank you guys for that. It is a lot of work. Like, I've spent days on this, but we're making progress on it. Like, it's almost done. And I cover how I think Muddy Water Acid Spray is just superior. Dragon Breath isn't that bad, but both teams just kind of gearing up for the bottom objective. Now, this is where it'll get tricky for babymazo's team, because they did get a lead early game, but they didn't manage to do anything with their lead. It's really hard to do something with your lead against a Lapras, Hoopa. They're going to be, and Umbreon, they're going to be able to cover pads so easily, which is one of the weaknesses of babymazo's comp. So, they're really going to struggle here on this. Yep. Tali's just going to get a free 40 in. Oh, the Hoopa barely lived. That's insane that the Hoopa lived there. I would have thought the Hoopa would die. What? Let's go back and watch this Hoopa, guys. So, obviously, they see the Lapras scoring 40 top, and they know there's 2 tops. So, Brazil's like, let's kill this Hoopa, right? They slow unite, so the Hoopa can't Hoopa unite. So the 2 people top can't teleport down. So the Hoopa Shedinja dolls, his focus band goes off, and he manages to live. That's insane. That's really good he was able to live. And Klaus lives on 1 HP. So this is a huge turn for Tali. They should be able to secure this. Holy shit. They are just, it honestly looks like nerves as well. I get Talibobo is one of the unique EU teams because They have a lot of young players on their team that are kind of emotional players, you know. So a couple like mistakes throughout the tournament, I think maybe already or something, can lead to like the players playing worse and worse and worse. So that definitely should have been a free Reggie. Both Reggie should have been free for Tally, but again, everything's going right for Brazil, and they're still not that far ahead. So I'm really not a fan of their comp, if you can't tell. Like, everything's going right for them, yet they're still not hard winning. And in my opinion, with like how lucky they got in this game, quote unquote lucky, they should have been like super like ahead. But I just think it's not about like the players or anything. It's about their comp. I don't like their comp at all. So the Lapras is going to unite. That's the last Lapras unite. So it might look int, but he's honestly fine. They're just going to rip the Reggie up top here. They will struggle to secure this against the A9. And the Gudra gets it with the Muddy Water. They are just demons. Brazil is just demons this game. And that is a huge point swing. That is an absolutely massive point swing for babymazo's team. So that is really not good for Tally. But honestly, I still think they're fine. Their comp is really good late game. Their Mew is the level 11. That is a bit yikes. He just hit level 12. Not sure if he'll be able to hit level 13 here. Lapras is only level 12, so levels aren't looking good. There's a level 12 Slowbro, but the A9 is actually only level 12, so it's not that bad. Level 13 Gudra is gonna be hard to kill, but Leafeon only level 13, so levels are very low actually. And this is a huge 50 if the Lapras gets it, but they do cover caps really well. That's really good. It looks like he's just distracting. He's still full health. He's sitting in the Speed Flux. Very interesting by Toon. That's a huge beam by Mew. That's a lot of damage. That's going to use up a lot of Blissey eggs. Blissey's down to like 2-3 eggs right now. And Blissey gets Unite move canceled by the Umbreon. The Umbreon steals the shield. So this is a huge fight. This is a huge fight. The Blissey absolutely entered there. And they do manage to get the Slowbro. So the fight's going really well. Gudra still has Unite though. He does manage to kill the Mew. And so it's only... The Blissey did spawn. Blissey has Unite, which is a great secure. However, they still have Zacian Unite. Zacian has a lot of points. So Zacian Unite is a better secure than Blissey. They're charging out the Zacian Unite. And they get it. So Klaus played really well that game. Even despite the messing up his clear a little in the early game. So again, you can see everything went right for Brazil, but it's like they also prioed this Leafeon the first game, which I really don't like. I feel like Leafeon's win rate at Worlds was so low. I really didn't like it. Especially as a main jungler. The only time, like, my team honestly would have picked Leafeon. It's not like it's like a don't pick it. But every team was just picking it so early in draft. I just don't think you pick it that early. There's other Pokemon you could have picked, like the Zacian, right? They could have picked Zacian, even like Umbreon Hoopa instead of A9. So let's see how this draft went. So they banned Leafeon. Interesting. Tally banned Lapras, which is pretty smart. First picked Inteleon. Tally picked Umbreon A9. So interesting that they're prioing the A9 against Brazil. Brazil is just going the Slowbro Blissey again. They love these two Pokemon as support and defender, I guess. They go Zacian again, which I think Zacian this game is not as good. I don't like the Zacian Hoopa here as much. Yeah, I don't like it personally. I don't like Talibobo's drafts. I definitely think the Gardevoir is funny. So I'll tell you why they picked Gardevoir. It's because Delphox is not actually a counter to Gudra, in my opinion. But Gardevoir is. And the reason they picked Gardevoir, for some funny context, is Overlord got fed up of losing against Gudra, because I covered in my EU video that we don't counterpick in scrims. But obviously sometimes you get frustrated, mental is low, and you kind of maybe want to get some wins in. So you do pick strong Pokemon in scrims. And he just hard counterpicked the Goodra Gardevoir, which I think is the only counter to Goodra in the game, really. And obviously, like, there's Mewtwo's now and more broken Pokemon, but in the World's meta, Gardevoir was the only Pokemon that actually countered Goodra. And he dropped like 200k damage on their faces. They got absolutely destroyed the whole game. And so they started like banning teams, Gardevoir against teams that would pick Gardevoir or even picking it. So you can see they picked Gardevoir so the Goodra wouldn't get counterpicked, which is really funny. So they picked Goodra with Gardevoir, and Talibobo had the last pick, and they picked Delphox. But Delphox is not a great answer, in my opinion. I think, honestly, like, I would just match. It's hard. I just don't like how they drafted it at the start. I feel like the A9 is int, honestly. Like, the A9 didn't really do anything in the last game, so I'm not sure why Tali is prioritizing it so much. It's really weird. I honestly would have gone with like Umbreon Blissey here. Even Slowbro Umbreon works pretty well. Oh, maybe they could have picked Venusaur in the last slot. Maybe. I don't like it that much, but there's really not that many options that are good. Maybe Delphox is the best pick, but I just don't like how they did the draft. And the Hoopa is gonna invade. I remember this. I was thinking about it. I'm like, is this the game the Hoopa invades? From my recollection, babymazo gets fucked on the invade. So let me see if that's correct. Come on, go to the invade. He does get the blue buff, but he's one shot, has to flash. So they trade flashes. So yeah, this is really annoying for Mazo. But he's doing well in the invade, actually. A lot better than I remember. Does he die? Maybe it's the third game. The third game you might get like really fucked on the invade. Maybe not this game. So Goodra pops his X speed actually to chase the Hoopa. Now you're gonna kill him. They're gonna be late to bees now though. I don't know if this is worth. They give the entire bees. I really don't know if that's worth the red buff. Yeah, it's the Hoopa stalled a lot of times, so the invade worked out. I don't know if trading all the birds top was worth killing the Hoopa and getting red buff. So Zervis is just being super annoying to this Inteleon again. I would be so frustrated if I was Mazo. And the Goodra is getting 5, I think. I can't tell if the Hoopa stole it. Maybe? Because he should have 0 points if he died. He has 4. So he might have stolen the buff. We'll see when the camera goes to him. Gardevoir is actually doing decently, being level 5 to level 6. That's not bad at all. So Gardevoir lane is pretty weak. It's surprising this lane has gone so well for Brazil. I definitely think Tali's bot lane might have misplayed this, and they both get double killed. That is insane. A Gardevoir beat A9 in lane. That is just brutal. That should not happen. Megu does get that last hit. That's huge. Brazil is still behind in the jungle. But outside of the jungle, bot lane is massive. They're probably going to get Gardevoir for the first Reggie, which is insane. Yeah, the level 7 Slowbro. The Slowbro is going to be hard to kill. It's a level 7 Slowbro. It's going to be really tanky for this fight. And he's already back to full health again. After tanking all of that combos. He's literally full health to Slowbro. And the A9 Blizzard on it. These secures are so sus, bro. The secures are so sus. Oh, huge flash play by Toon. So it does get revenge for that play earlier where they got double killed in lane. So It's not the end of the world for Brazil though. I think ooh, this is a huge overcap, but honestly their levels, because they were winning beforehand, they were winning bots so hard that their levels are fine, honestly. It's not the end of the world, but that huge overcap is really bad. And again, this comes down to like Tali's really winning hard now, but I really don't like their comp in the left side comp. If it's an even game state by late game, then I think left side comp is gonna win. Ooh, so they do get a double kill bot lane against Brazil, and that's gonna be more points scored. Ooh, it's not too many points scored, so it's not that bad. They've scored like around 25 points on the bottom path. Tier 2. And Talion does pop Unite here. Gets the Hoopa focus band. There's a flash Unite by the Zacian, so Tali's playing really well this game so far. They weren't playing that well the first game, but this game they're really heating up. They're really playing really well. It's up to Brazil now to make the miracle play happen in the late game. Just like Tali did last game. Huge play by Toon. Got the Reggie pushed in, so he saw the angle there. Really well played by him. And they get a huge over, so they are up almost 200 points, but that is a huge kill for Inteleon. Oh no. I think so the Delphox is trying to get out after scoring. Why did the Hoopa back up so much? What is this Hoopa doing? He needs to help his Delphox. He needs to tank for him. Why is the Hoopa back so much? Oh, he's trying to get back to the pad for the bottom Reggie, I see. Still though, that's a huge kind of lack of awareness, kind of autopilot to what the most obvious play is. His Delphox just got a huge over but needed help getting out. Definitely could have tanked that Inteleon liquidation and he would have lived. Not the end of the world, but they also catch Umbreon, get the focus band and the Unite move. So a couple ints here after such a solid first like 6 minutes. The Guja's going to Unite move on their pad. Very interesting. The Guja's bush camping out. Look at the Guja. What is he? What's the angle he's looking for? Alright, he's walking in on the Delphox after the Delphox got served. Zone the Delphox out, but the Zacian's ripping. Yeah, Talibobo is just going to get it. So, and I was interested what angle the Guja would be able to find, but it looks like it has no angle. I didn't watch these games live, but it's been a while, so I remember a couple tidbits, but I forgot what happened in them for the most part. That's a huge kill. This Gardevoir Psychic plus Inteleon Liquidation combo is like a one-shot. That's honestly a really annoying range. And they do outrange Tali. Maybe like a sniper. No, a sniper would have gotten run down by the Guja. Yeah, I just really don't like how Tali drafted here. They really gave themselves no options for the last pick in this meta. So this is the final Reggie. This Reggie doesn't really do much, so Brazil shouldn't really end for it. Yep, just back up. This Reggie doesn't do anything, bro. It doesn't do anything. These types of Reggies are extremely useless. And Brazil gets points in bot. Honestly, that's really good for them. Surprised the Sorbo got 25 there. What happened? Ooh, okay. The Umbreon didn't cover pad. That's a huge int. Keeping up both their tier 1 pads would have been huge for the Rayquaza fight, so not sure what Megu's doing there. Sorbo goes down, but it doesn't matter. I don't know why Chris is making a big deal about this. This really doesn't matter at all. The break on the zone was so worth it. It was really good for Brazil. It's going to give them so much space now to play around the bot side. But with two tier 1 zones up, the game feels really choke. It feels like a chokehold at 2 minutes. But now it's opened up a lot of space. So the levels are huge by Talibobo's team, but oh, they do have a level 14, so this is a huge level lead, huge. And again, the only thing they have to be careful of is Slowbro, because they don't have anything to save. The Zacian just has to make sure not to get Slowbro united, and they should be able to win the fight. The Slowbro has to unite like someone else, and the Zacian flashes in and gets Slowbro. Let me break down this play for you guys, alright? Because it looks really int. A lot of people flame Klaus for this. I knew it was coming, but this is the one way they do lose the game, so this was very dumb by Klaus in my opinion. Like, look at the comps. The Slowbro can only really get in range to unite the Zacian. The Delphox and A9 are going to be able to sit comfortably out of range. So the Zacian just has to not get united by Slowbro and they'll probably win the fight. Especially with this huge level difference. He flashes in. And this might look int, but watch the Inteleon, okay? Look at the Inteleon. The Inteleon preemptively flashes. Did you see that? The Inteleon flashes first. And of course, Klaus didn't expect this. He was already in the middle of trying to flash when the Inteleon flashed. Look, it was basically both instant, but the Inteleon flashed first. And literally, Klaus would have killed Inteleon if the Inteleon did not flash. So, I mean, the Inteleon walking up that far was probably a little int, but babymazo literally completely baited Klaus with this insta flash. And it's just like a sixth sense, or like it was just really lucky, but he completely baited Klaus into his team. If Klaus killed Inteleon here and then went down to Slowbro Unite, the game would have been fine. But babymazo manages to flash before Klaus even flashes, which is insane to me. And I saw that live. I seem to be the only one. I was watching it with my entire team and a couple friends, and I seem to be the only one that noticed that. And I just thought that was really funny. It's either like he just had a feeling he could bait the Zacian into his team, or it was just completely lucky. And we'll never know which one, but unless Mazo like comments on this video talking about his perspective, but it's honestly really insane. And it's something I've experienced where really good players get really good at baiting like plays like that. They'll walk up, make you think like, hey, I can kill this guy, and then you die for it. It's honestly really common at the top level of play. But that level of baiting where it literally lost them a game where they were up like 5 levels is insane to me. And wow, the Inteleon is just doing so much damage. So that was an insane team fight. babymazo's team pulled out like the miracle. Mazo like hard baited Klaus, which again, Klaus going for that play really dumb. But again, I covered this in my Europe video, how Talibobo is a team of really gifted mechanical players. But they kind of need to get led by more experienced players. So ints like that do tend to happen when the mechanics are up there, but the brain kind of isn't. So mistakes like that are bound to happen. And I just think it honestly comes down to draft. Like, sure, you can say that. I mean, obviously, like, if this was my team and we're VOD reviewing, I'm like, bro, obviously don't just focus on the draft. Like, there's a lot of things the players could have done better throughout these games to win. But at the end of the day, as an analyst looking between these two comps, the only reason that Europe loses when they're so ahead is because of how rigid their meta is. Playing with Hoopa against a Slowbro allows no room for mistakes like that, right? Like, if you had a Blissey, you can just Bliss Unite the Zacian who's inting. It doesn't matter if they make a mistake. So, it's just like, they're playing comps that are really unforgiving. Just one mistake can lose you a game, which is insane to think about, right? We're all humans. We all make mistakes. Like, it's bound to happen. We're going to make a mistake. So playing a type of comp and a type of way where you can lose just off one mistake is insane to me on a world stage. Like, you should draft comps that allow mistakes, right? Which is what I said were the superior comps. Like, I think they should have drafted Umbreon Blissey on the first round there. But anyways, hopping into game 3. So first pick Lapras. I support it. Lapras is broken, and Brazil is locking 89 Leafeon first rotation, which I'm not a fan of. But then Tally go Urshifu Hoopa, which, what? I don't like this adaptation at all. They banned Slowbro, which is like, sure. babymazo team banned Inteleon. I think they should have picked either Hoopa Umbreon here or Hoopa. I guess they figured out that babymazo's team doesn't want to pick Umbreon, which is good, so they can save Umbreon for later. But they should have picked Zacian here. Their first comp was so good. It was so good. So that was the game they won too. So I'm not sure why they're changing it up when they won that game, right? Like, everything went wrong. It was honestly kind of unlucky, and they still won. To me, that screams like, hey, our draft is really good. So Hoopa Zacian here, I think they should have gone instead of Urshifu. Both Urshifus are kind of terrible, in my opinion. Like, I'm just not a fan of Red Urshifu. If you followed my channel for a while, you know I hate Red Urshifu. I think it's really overrated. It's not bad in this team, but there's a million other Pokemon I'd probably pick over Red Urshifu. Like Zacian. I think Zacian would have been really good here. babymazo's team picks Tree Blissey, which I think Blissey is fine. If it were my team, we might have picked Comfy. Not sure. I'd have to think. It's been a while since Worlds meta, but Tree Blissey, sure. Obviously, Umbreon would have been preferred, but maybe their tank's not comfortable on Umbreon. Didn't do too much prep work on Brazil's tank, so I do know they can play Umbreon. I'm just not sure why they don't feel comfortable playing it in this series, but sticking to your comfort picks is respectable in a high pressure stakes environment. So they go Umbreon Mew here, which when you see Tree Blissey, I'm confused why you want to go Mew, because Tree Blissey Leafeon and you want to go Mew. I'm not sure if Mew's the best option there. And then they go Zacian last pick, which I think the Zacian's really good. So the Mew and Urshifu picks are pretty questionable. They do have Lapras, Umbreon, Hoopa, which are really good, but I'm not a fan of this Red Urshifu at all. I'm not a fan of the Mew either. That was one Pokemon that I really mentioned my Europe drafts, but they do tend to like overpick is Mew. They really love Mew, which, don't get me wrong, Mew's really good, but there might be slightly better Pokemon in the slot. So Hoopa helped leash a lot of the jungle. The Leafeon went to invade, so really smart by Tally there. Really good early game against the Leafeon. Leafeon's going to run top now, misses the Solar Blade actually, so the start's going pretty well for Tally so far. The Leafeon's going to run bot. Oh, but the Urshi does see the Leafeon, so the Urshi thinks the Leafeon's going bot? No, he does realize the Leafeon's top. Honestly, if I were the Urshifu here, I would have gone bot lane. Because you have a Lapras, it's going to be really hard for, like, this tree is level 3. You probably could have destroyed their bot lane and gotten really ahead. So, you have a Lapras, like, they're not going to kill the Lapras top with 3 people. You could have gone bot lane and got a huge lead. I think matching Leafeon doesn't do anything. It's just a coin flip on the Altarias. So going bot would have been so much better here. It's a level 4 tree. That would have been so easy to kill. A9's obviously pretty squishy. The Mew's level 5. I really think the Urshifu should have gone bot. I'm not sure what the comms were there, but it could be like a communications issue. Like, top lane, someone in top or bot lane even the jungler should realize that Urshifu should be bot. So I'm not sure. It just seems like kind of autopilot, like nerves. Like, you need to communicate the state of bot lane. Like, you're hard winning. The tree was level 3. Your Mew was level 5. If you call the jungler down, you probably kill him and score. Huge combo by the A9. Holy shit. They are so low now in bot lane. How, like, this lane went so bad. And again, if the Urshifu ganked, it would have been hard won for Tali. It wouldn't even be close. So, yeah, not sure what happened after Bees there, but they were winning before Bees, and now after Bees, they're hard losing bot. The Umbreon's stuck level 3 at 740. This is insane. This is really bad. The issue is when you get stuck before an evolve on a Pokemon, the experience in the game is actually glitched. So people think, oh, you get all the EXP back when you evolve. No. You're losing a lot of EXP per second when you're stuck at that evolve at level 3. It goes for any Pokemon. So you really don't want to be stuck at like right before an evolution where you can't, like, you need to get a farm to evolve, right? If you get stuck at that stage, you're losing a lot of experience, which is extremely bad. Like, all that EXP share value is just gone. So it looks like the Hoopa teleports down, the Lapras stays top, but I don't like this. This is a level 6 Lapras against a level 8 Zacian. Zacian's gonna get everything top lane. This is like not realizing what a Zacian wants to do, right? Because a Zacian needs points. It's gonna hesitate to score. In fact, if it scores, it slows its tempo down a lot. So just leave it top. It's not going to get that much experience. And the Lapras being bought here for this fight, I think 5v4 is your best odds after how this early game went. So I think this is just not an understanding of how to play against Zacian. It's like they didn't VOD review enough Zacian games to realize this. I really think it should be 5 bot here. They are trying to flip it, which is good because they have Red Urshifu. He runs out of the punch. He runs out of it. His team doesn't hit it for him. So this, again, is a communications issue. Look at this. He starts charging his punch. The Hoopa and Umbreon are not hitting it at all. The Mew just used Solar Beam, so the Mew couldn't. But the Hoopa and Umbreon need to be hitting this, or the Red Urshifu needs to not be charging punch. There's a huge communications issue going on here. That's just that's mind-blowing to me. Like, someone hard entered there. Either the Umbreon and Hoopa are not listening to their Red Urshifu telling them to hit the objective, or the Red Urshifu is just hitting the objective when his team doesn't want to, or like charging his punch when his team doesn't want to. How it operates on my team personally is we have the person with the best secure Pokemon. They call the shots on what to do around that objective. So we all listen to the Red Urshifu, but obviously every team is different. You need to figure out a system that works. Obviously, I think EU teams didn't manage to do that. The Red Urshifu does get the A9 with its Unite, but again, it just goes down. And honestly, the Red Urshifu played really well there. I don't like this Pokemon. I don't think it's good. The Zacian's just running through their team. So Red Urshifu is going to try to farm his Unite move back a little. We have 4 top. The Leafeon was farming the Unite move back too. And Leafeon's going to get it back faster. So Brazil is going to be on the move faster in this top lane sooner. Yep. Leafeon's already up here, which means he should be pretty close to Unite. Umbreon Unite's nothing. So really bad Unite by the Umbreon there. But that's a huge Lapras 3-man Unite. So maybe that's what they were trying to set up. They take down the tree. So this is huge. They're taking down everyone. Lapras went insane there. This is really good. Really good. All of them. What? The Solar Blade stopped all 4 scores? Wait, it didn't stop the Urshifu score. The Urshifu could have scored. The Urshifu canceled his score. What the fuck? He would have gotten his score off. That's insane. He would have scored, and now the tables have turned. Now they're all low. Wait, the Urshifu would have scored 40. He would have gotten like a lot of experience. That would have been really good for them if the Urshifu scored 40. Not sure why he stopped his score there. Leafeon did really good here targeting the 3. That's really good. So only Urshifu could have scored here, but he definitely would have gotten the score off. The Hoopa goes down, which is really bad because that was their healing. That was a good... That's an animation cancel on Mew he just did. Not an animation cancel, but it's a high-tech thing on Mew where you dash a lot farther than you're supposed to after Surf. Good to see the mechanics there on Mew. A missed Solar Beam, unfortunate. They would have been so low. Zacian is ripping the bottom one, and again, this is the strength of Zacian. Like, it's been kind of a stalemate top here. And, like, Talibobo has been playing out of their mind. Which, to me, when you're playing out of your mind, like, playing really well, which I think, for the most part, all of them have been this game, it screams that your comp is terrible, no? If you win a game and you played terrible, it's like, oh, the Pokemon you're playing are really good. I played dog shit and I still won. And then when you play really, really good and the game is still this hard, does it not like have like red alarm bells in your head like screaming like, hey, this comp is dog shit? That's just personally how I think. But again, like EU got so good at these Pokemon. They're so insanely mechanically good at these Pokemon that they don't realize that the Pokemon are losing them the games. Because they play other Pokemon, they might even lose on them because they're not as good mechanically, and they're like, hey, these Pokemon are worse. That's a late Urshifu Unite, but let's see if they get value off it. They trade a late Tree Unite instead, which the Tree's going to struggle to get his Unite move back there. Urshifu's not. They're still trying to push it, which I think is int. I think this is really int. They should have just gone to farm after the Tree Unite. They do get it in, actually. So, not int. I stand corrected. Their Urshifu really needs to go hard farm. He needs to back immediately and go for these bottom Altarias. Alright, Hoopa Port works as well. Yep. Farming those, really good. Urshifu's level 13 now. They are behind in points, so they've been kind of A-ramming top the whole game. They haven't had a chance to catch up in points. They won the fights top lane, but they were losing all the bot Regis because they just sat top the whole time, so. Urshifu is going for the bottom one. Okay, interesting. He will be level 14. The Mew's level 13. Lapras, I'm not sure if he'll hit level 13. The levels definitely are not as good on babymazo, the team side, but they do have the point lead, so. It's kind of like babymazo's team has a point lead, and Tally's team, or Talibobo, they have an EXP lead. Meanwhile, babymazo's team has a point lead. So this last 2 minutes is all about how they convert their lead. So obviously, babymazo's team wants to play it slow because they're the ones with the point lead. They want to stall out the time, so the enemy team has to panic and hit Rayquaza. It's up to Talibobo to make things happen. They do have the EXP lead, which will help in winning fights, but they have to force the fights, which it's an art form, really. You have to learn how to do it in a way that's not going to lose you the game, right? So I think the easiest way to do that, number one, is to hit the Rayquaza. I think they should be hitting the Rayquaza this whole time. You need to pressure it. The team with the point lead is going to be more scared of you hitting the Rayquaza. So they should be just... This is what babymazo's team wants in this game state. This is good for them. They're stalling out the timer, right? Now the timer is ticking down, and Tali's team is going to be forced to miss position. They're going to have to like panic hit the Rayquaza.
1 minute 10. Utah with the side. Solar Beam is not going to quite find it, looking for the boost auto tag next. When that team is committing anything.
Oh, they do score. So now babymazo's team is the one that has to make things happen. And they realize immediately. They realize immediately and start hitting the Rayquaza. They Bliss Unite, Zacian Unite. So they just full rip the Rayquaza while the Lapras is top. But Talibobo has Hoopa. How did this not get stopped? 70%. He insta Hoopa Unites at 70%. But it's just too late. The Zacian and Blissey are on top of it. So he needed to Hoopa Unite earlier. And they just use all their good secure moves on the Rayquaza and get it. That's the strength of Zacian. It has the best secure in the game. Combo with Blissey. Talibobo has nothing really that can counter that. Like Red Urshifu's secure is pretty good, but it's nothing compared to Zacian Blissey Unite. So they actually haven't scored yet. This is insane. They haven't scored. Oh, Blissey got the 100. Oh wait, they already scored before that. Never mind. I'm a dumbass. So yeah, insanely close match. And again, I don't think Tali played that bad besides the one Klaus mistake. But again, if one mistake is losing you a game, then you have to rethink your comp, in my opinion. Yeah, they honestly played really good mechanically, looking back at this game. And it was just, I think it was a clash of metas, and EU meta just didn't hold up. Either lack of preparation, lack of analysis. I really think we saw a clash of regions, and babymazo's team, the Brazilian region was just superior in this clash. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll record some down reaction games if you guys want, if this video does really well, and I'll catch you in the next one.